Let's start here. This is how downtown looked when Central Houston was founded 40 years ago. Lots of office buildings, but noticeably, no hobby center, convention center, Discovery Green, few hotels or even apartments. Truly the definition of a central business district, and one that was being rocked by the collapse in oil prices. And the stories of that time are true. You've probably heard this from folks who have been around Houston for a while. The sidewalks really did roll up after 5 p.m. in this single-purpose place, which left lots of room for Houston's special breed of wildlife, the urban animals. The folks that just laughed are folks who have been here for a few decades. Good afternoon. My name is Kris Larson, and it is my honor to deliver our 2023 State of Downtown Address. And before jumping into the state of things, I want to start just to talk a little bit about the last 40 years. Central Houston emerged out of the challenges of the 80s and emerged to create unity, community. Business and civic leaders came together to create this organization dedicated to making downtown more than a vulnerable single-purpose place. To fix it, they only need to look back at the city's own history and read its own playbook. Because Houston was once a compact and dense city, just like most American cities in the 1940s, and even had a bustling main street. But they were going to need something more than just their own willpower and contributions. They needed a leader. And they found one in hiring my predecessor, Mr. Bob Urey, who I'm proud to say is with us here today. Now, those leaders, they got to work. And by work, I'm serious about work. They literally rolled up their sleeves and began the process of improving the community themselves. These were corporate CEOs and their staffs who gave time on Saturdays to scrape the gum off of sidewalks and clean up Main Street. And they did this for over a decade until Central Houston was able to help establish the Downtown Management District in the mid-1990s. This provided a sustainable source of revenue to be able to tend to downtown's day-to-day needs. And for our clean and safe members who are in the audience, don't worry, we are not going back to these uniforms. After the district was established, it enabled Central Houston to think broader, to begin to imagine what else could be. How else can we transform this downtown? And set its sights on bigger ideas, things like the creation of Buffalo Bayou Park, as well as helping to create the Redevelopment Authority in 1998 to reposition the Rice Hotel into apartments. This would help to kickstart the downtown residential boom to follow. Bigger ideas continued, including the transformation of the east side of downtown. It's probably unrecognizable to you in this photo, because today, of course, it is the home of our beloved Astros. And further, to the Rockets, and of course, the Dash and the Dynamo. And Central Houston continued to explore new ideas, including one of the most transformational, which was the creation of the Downtown Living Initiative, which delivered over 4,000 residential units within a decade in downtown, and continued to support even seemingly wild ideas, like repurposing the Barbara Jordan Post Office into the Post. So that catches us up on 40 years. Let's take a moment and acknowledge the amazing work that's been done over the last 4 decades. And here's where we are today. We have 9 projects currently under construction in downtown despite economic headwinds, and each of these will continue to help to transform downtown into a 24/7 destination. Now we're going to go product by product here and talk a little bit about each one individually. So on the office side, I know there's a lot been written right now about the health of the office market, but seemingly downtown Houston is different. It is well positioned in this flight to quality market, as nearly 70% of all of our office space, that's 52 million square feet of office space, is Class A space. And more than a third of all of the office space in downtown has been renovated or built since the onset of the pandemic, just 3.5 years ago. We saw asking rents rise in the third quarter by 3.8%, and downtown Houston leads all major Texas downtowns with nearly 1.4 million square feet leased year to date. And this is where you're going to clap again, because that is more than double of the activity in Austin and triple of that in Dallas. In terms of building a neighborhood, we've seen the number of residential units in downtown since the beginning of the Downtown Living Initiative grow by over 200%. We have an additional 1,090 currently under construction. Moreover, compared to our peer cities and even Houston neighborhoods, only downtown Houston has seen a year-over-year reduction in vacancy. It means people want to live here. And on the visitation side, hotel occupancy and revenues continue to grow. Year-over-year occupancy for hotels is up 3.6%, and revenue available per room is up 14.3% over the same period. In just a few years, downtown's supply of hotel rooms will continue to grow and eclipse the 9,000 room mark. Now, if RevPAR doesn't impress you, this next stat will. Perhaps no single chart summarizes the impact of Central Houston's mission more than this one. There are now more people in downtown for fun, recreation, entertainment, and leisure than for work. We have the technology to show that decades of investment in parks, stadiums, theaters, food halls, and more have changed this city. This is what we set out to do, and proof that it's working. Now, let's talk about some of the work that we've advanced for downtown this year. On the public safety side, we've made it easier than ever for stakeholders to request our services. We've consolidated our public safety, security, SEAL, and off-duty HPD programs into one easy number to call to request non-emergency services, 24/7. This gives every stakeholder peace of mind that there is always someone to call who is available to them in a moment's notice. There, I'd like to thank our clean and safe teams for their many, many contributions on a daily basis to our downtown. One of the most ambitious and yet challenging projects that we've endeavored this year was surrounding the Beacon. We partnered with agencies such as Search, the Coalition for the Homeless, the Beacon, HPD, and more to tackle one of the most historically challenging blocks in downtown. I used to tell my board there is no other single building in downtown that I talk about every day than the Beacon and the challenges around it. We needed to do more, and we needed to find a way to try something different that was going to produce results. And ultimately, this was much more than an enforcement project. This is about compassionate outreach and really identifying the systemic failures where we needed to improve the way we were engaging with those unhoused in and around the Beacon. But we also needed to deter those who were preying on those most vulnerable residents of our community. You can see evidence of that turnaround in these slides. Through this process, we managed to house 113 individuals. And I'm proud to say that now for almost 75 days since this initiative, it remains much cleaner and much safer around the Beacon. That's where you applaud. Switching gears a little bit, we're very proud this year, in response to our growing neighborhood in downtown, to launch some really important community building opportunities. And our farmers market was really meant to be a space that brought residents together to find opportunity to get to know one another while also supporting and accessing locally grown goods and locally produced artisan foods. We're 8 weeks into this experimental program at this point and averaging over 700 customers per market, and that includes visitors from afar. We didn't know that we were going to be bringing in folks from around the region and from places even international. But I'm excited to announce that we are going to be bringing this back next year and expanding to a 6-month market season in 2024. This year we are fortunate to partner with Commissioner Ellis's office and brought in the best muralists from across Houston and the globe to transform blank sides of buildings with meaningful statements about the world we're building at home. Very proud of those 18 murals. But we're also repairing the infrastructure that gives our city majesty and expanding our network of parks and open spaces to ensure that the city's lungs are healthy for us and for those we love and whom we are building this city for. I invite you all now to give a round of applause for my incredible hardworking staff that made all of these accomplishments possible. So what's next? Where do we go from here? Big problems need big solutions. We have 5 million square feet of unmarketable, obsolete office space in downtown, and that space presents an opportunity to continue downtown's transformation, to welcome more people for more reasons here in our community. We want to build off of the success of our Downtown Living Initiative to determine how we can use our tools to build a more diverse downtown neighborhood and how affordable and attainable housing can help us broaden the opportunity for more Houstonians to call downtown home. We're going to activate the right streets with more retail and restaurants to create a more vibrant and connected public realm. And we're repositioning the downtown launchpad as a hub for incubating, accelerating, and scaling economically disadvantaged businesses interested in investing their skills and ideas in downtown. We're also poised to begin the next chapter of Main Street. Following the City Council's decision to make the More Space Main Street program permanent, we are committed to transforming the space to create a 7-block promenade experience. And to unlock this opportunity, we'll raise the paved street to create more seamless accessibility. We'll then use programming and landscape treatments to create a truly unique pedestrian realm. You won't find anything like this in the city of Houston. And then connect it to Allen's Landing, where this city started, to create a more memorable sense of arrival into downtown. But before we do all of that, I need to keep a couple of promises that I made to you last year. Do you remember those 6 websites? As of today, we are 1. DowntownHouston.org, launched as we sat here and enjoyed our lunches, is now the single-stop source for all things downtown. Whether it's recommendations for rooftop dining or access for your board materials, anyone, nay, everyone, can find it all here in one place. And that other promise. I told you I'd make it easier to keep all of our organizations and the alphabet soup of acronyms straight. That was a doozy. Today, we launch Downtown Houston Plus. Our new unifying brand speaks to our history, who we are today, and where we're going. It embodies our limitless opportunities for collaboration and reminds us that in Houston, we're always better together. Because in Houston, we're in the business of plus. Thank you all very much.